Whole other issues. We welcome in NFL on Fox analyst Mark Schlereth. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Great 4th of July?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good. You got all your fingers?
It's always good when you don't do anything.
Yeah. All right, Shannon, first, could you see this happening with Nick Foles? Could he be traded?
This makes a lot of sense for the Bucs. If I'm Philly, I'm not even thinking about this because I still don't know how healthy Carson Wentz is going to be. And this is what we know. Had they not had Nick Foles, they're not winning the Super Bowl when Carson Wentz goes down. So for me, this makes a lot of sense for the Bucs, especially given the circumstances to start the season. Now they do have Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know what he's like. We know what he's about. No expectation. Ryan Fitzpatrick normally performs pretty well.
Yeah,
when you place expectations on him, he doesn't normally perform well.
One good year, one not so good year.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Skip. If Tampa were to do a deal like this or something very similar, you're basically saying you're cutting bait with Jameis Winston after the season. Are they there yet? For me, had I been running the Tampa Bay organization, given the set of circumstances in which I'm taking Jameis Winston with the first pick, I'm letting him know there's zero tolerance. So if anything remotely similar comes up, like what transpired, what was reported or alleged at Tampa, you got to go. Because he doesn't have the cachet, Skip. We haven't won a playoff game. I still don't see what I need to see for you being the number 1 overall pick. So it would have been zero tolerance. So once this comes up, I'm already on the phones trying to call somebody to get a solid backup to be my guy moving forward. So this is where they are. If I'm Philly, I'm not even entertaining this because I still don't know how healthy Carson is. And if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you're thinking about something like this is telling me you're ready to move on from Jameis.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things here. Philadelphia, you don't know how Carson is going to respond. You don't know when we get into camp. Remember Ryan Tannehill 2 years ago, tears up his knee, missed the last 6 weeks, does not have the ACL reconstruction, but does the rehab thing, gets back into the season or gets back into the preseason training camp and blows out his knee. So, you have to make sure that you're protected as a franchise. Well, the one thing I know about Nick Foles is when he had full seasons to start in the Rams organization, he wasn't very good. And Philadelphia, even after a 27 touchdown versus 2 interception season, they still got rid of him. So there are some question marks there as well. What are you going to get if you were Philly? What were you going to get back? Because offensively, when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't think there's an asset on the offensive side of the football that you would look at and say, okay, can we trade our quarterback for an offensive asset?
Right. They're not going to trade you They're not going to trade you Mike Evans.
No. And then on the defensive side, there were a couple guys like Quan Alexander can flat out play. Levante David can flat out play linebacker position. I would look at those, but then you start looking for salary. I'll say this. They love Jameis Winston within that organization. As a leader and as a football player, they love that guy. He makes too many repeatable mistakes. That's his biggest issue, is that he'll make those mistakes. But the guys love playing with him. The organization loves him. His off-the-field decisions are those things.
Keep putting him in harm's way.
Right. Those things are the things that they are I know they're very concerned about those things. But as far as the on-the-field stuff, and he just needs to eliminate repeating mistakes. The one thing that you cannot tolerate as an NFL coach is a guy who's a mistake repeater. If you make the same mistake over and over and over again, then that's when we have to start looking to replace.
Either they can't coach it or you can't comprehend it.
Right. And that's the biggest issue with him. And some of it is I want to be the hero, or I'm playing hero ball. And you've got to be able to be mature enough to step beyond that.
On the field, he made the same mistakes fairly repeatedly at Florida State. And yet, I'm with you on this. I did endorse Jameis as the first overall pick. I liked his leadership qualities. I did not like anything that had transpired off the field because there was a long list of negatives. And there was one big negative that we all know about. And yet I was with you. I said zero tolerance. And, of course, Jameis said all the right things. I have reformed, transformed, grown up, whatever. I'm ready to seize the reins of this franchise and be the face of this franchise. And then that happened. How he only got 3 games for that, I don't know, but we'll leave that be for now. 6. I thought it was 6 to start with, right?
That's the minimum.
Okay, well, he got 3. But whatever, it happened, and he fessed up to it, and this is what you're left with. And I think a lot of people in that franchise, and I know a lot of fans and a lot of media in the Tampa Bay area, are done with Jameis Winston, which brings us back to Nick Foles. I think he is an extremely valuable asset to Philadelphia right now. And I
Correct.
know what happened in St. Louis, and I cannot defend that, although
Jeff Fisher was there,
was
so
involved.
we can defend it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. He was the same guy that said Jared Goff couldn't play, right?
Agreed.
Jared Goff was really good last year. So, I mean,
so for his career, Nick Foles now has 61 touchdown passes to only 29 interceptions. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
That's a starting quarterback.
Right.
So he started 43 games in this league, and even with the disaster in St. Louis, he's 25-18. So he can win games in this league. And we saw him play 2 of the best back-to-back playoff games I think I've ever seen this side of Tom Brady, and he outplayed Tom Brady in the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl MVP. That's pretty great because that's hard to do. Can he repeat that continuously going forward? I think he figured it out. I think he kind of matured in his mind. I'm not sure he had the most self-confidence until now. Does he work better in the Doug Peterson system? Probably he does. Jameis tries to do it all himself too many times, and he is a great leader of that team. I do believe they really follow him to a fault because then he just steps off the cliff because he tries to win the game at the end. And he did a lot of clutch things at Florida State too, but he can be real unclutch because he'll try things you just can't try.
Well, you remember in the championship game, Skip, he threw the game-winning touchdown to Benjamin.
He did.
As a freshman.
I know.
So the thing that concerns me, Skip, he lied. He lied. He said he didn't do it. He said the Uber driver made a mistake about how many people were in the car.
That was a big lie.
And then Ronald Darby lied for him. Ronald Darby was in the dorm room or the off-campus apartment and co-signed with Jameis Winston's side of the story.
Didn't he watch it happen, or one of them filmed it, or something?
So don't lie. He lied, Skip. He put himself back in the very situation. Look, man, you can't do. Hey, shoplifting should be off the. Well, he said, you know, I knew the guy that would serve up the crab legs. They gave. I've been in college. Knew people work at a store.
Got the hookup.
Right. Circle K. They give me the thirst bus. I get all that.
Yep.
But Skip, with that serious of an allegation, your name should never ever be mentioned in that kind of impropriety. Jameis, come on, bro. You got to make better decisions. But even if they want him back, Skip, how do they sell that to the community of Tampa?
Right. See, because that's not what, when we talk about mistakes on the field and repeating mistakes, that's not a mistake. What happened in the Uber, that's sexual assault. Like, that's never okay. That's not like, hey, I had a few drinks and I made it. That's never a mistake.
That's character.
Right. And that is a huge issue. I mean, a huge issue for an organization.
See, alcohol see, here's the thing. Alcohol changes your behavior. It doesn't change your morals. You normally don't do anything while drunk that you haven't thought about while you were sober. That's how that works, Skip. It breaks down your inhibitions. So now it gives you the courage to go ahead and do these things. Alcohol changes behavior. It doesn't change morals. Simple. Come on, Jameis, you're better than this. Or at least I hope you are.
So would
You
Nick
need to be better.
Yes.
You need to be better.
So would Nick Foles be better going forward than Jameis Winston? Yeah, I'll give you that. But how can Philly give up its biggest insurance policy?
You can't.
You just can't.
Right. Yeah.
Unless they offered a Kawhi Leonard sort of package of, you know, sun and moon, a couple of first-round picks over the next 2 years.
You're going to give us Gerald McCoy and Quan Alexander? Then maybe we can have a conversation. Right. Or if you're going to give us a couple of first-rounders, then maybe we'll consider it.
He doesn't want to hear this, but the Nick Foles I watched on the biggest stage in the sport, both the championship game and the Super Bowl, he looked better to me than Carson Wentz ever looked at any point last year. He just did.
No. Carson Wentz going to be the MVP.
Okay.
Carson Wentz was exceptional. Nick Foles in that playoff run. There's a couple games before they got in the playoffs where he was very shaky.
Against Atlanta, he was very shaky.
Early in the Atlanta game, in the second half,
he had one bad throw that should have been picked and wasn't, and that was the only mistake he made.
You talk about the game against the Raiders, which he was bad?
Yeah.
Minnesota brought the #1 defense to Philadelphia, the championship game, and he absolutely annihilated
it. He eviscerated them. There's
Yeah.
no question.
And New England brought the 31st ranked defense, and he did what he was supposed to do.
With Malcolm Butler watching.
Don't do that, Skip. Stop it.
Well, he was watching.
But Malcolm Butler didn't fumble the football.
This is a guy that was going to walk away from football. He was so sick of football, and Andy Reid gave him a rehabilitation year.
Gave him a life.
Come and get a football rehab year, and look where he is now. We're talking about him being traded.
Mark, thanks for joining us. A lighter topic here. How do you feel about Joey Chestnut?
Jaws. Jaws Chestnut. Now we get to talk about
how does Joey...
And to do what he does, the body is equipped with certain mechanisms. And in this case, when you do competitive eating, it's called a gag reflex. He's been able to suppress his for extended periods of time. Sometimes I'm watching it, I start to gag. And the way he's been able to do it, because Takeru Kobayashi, he was the greatest competitive eater. I think he won 6 in a row.
Well.
And then here comes Jaws Chestnut, Joey Chestnut. He comes along. Kobayashi once started with a dipping, Skip, because before then everybody was just eating a dry hot dog. He started it. Think about this. Nobody wants wet bread.
It's the worst.
I don't put lettuce. I don't put onions. I don't put that stuff because I don't want a wet bun. So to be able to do that, and then Matt Stoney got in between, and Jaws says, when I come back, it's lights out. And Skip, the way they be doing it, because if you notice, he said, I got into a rhythm. Think about that. Athletes are rhythm. Basketball, he got into a great rhythm shooting the ball. Tom Brady gets into a great rhythm throwing the football.
Yep.
Joey Chestnut yesterday got into a great rhythm eating the basketball. He started, his moving and jumping up and down so to go down. Woo, that was thing of beauty.
He's in the zone.
11 times.
In the history of Undisputed, I have never heard you more excited about a topic than you are right now about this one. Which leads me to believe that Joey Chestnut is your idol. You envy what he does. You would like to be a competitive hot dog eater.
No, not I'm not a big eater, Skip. I even as I've aged, I eat even less than I did. And I was never a big eater. So I mean, I'm trying to think. I haven't had a hot dog.
Fascinated by this. I can tell.
For him to be able to do it, and you look at some of the things, Skip, the dude ate 14 pounds of burritos in 10 minutes. Now, the record, when Kobayashi said 53, the record, that was in 12 minutes. This dude just ate 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes. He had 103 crystal sliders in 8 minutes. Come on. I mean, I can't eat 74 Skittles in 10 minutes.
That was my question. Could you eat 74 of anything, Skip?
No, if you told me 10, 12 years ago that somebody would eat 74 hot dogs in 10 minutes, it's physically impossible.
It is.
It's beyond Ripley's believe it or not, because I don't believe that it's possible. And he did it, I guess, after the judging error, because he is athletic. And I've talked to him a couple of times on ESPN, on and off camera. He's an impressive guy. And he is extremely serious about his craft.
You have to eat a lot, Skip, to expand your stomach.
And then you have to go through a fasting period to expand it, and you have to train your diaphragm and your stomach muscles just the way a competitive athlete would to be able to take the beating of this, because it is a terrible beating on your system.
Drink warm water to relax your stomach. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
You have to have figurative guts to do this, because I think you have to have high pain threshold, because there comes a point, I know it's only 10 minutes, about 8 minutes in, your body is screaming, stop it!
Right? Think about it, Skip. You go out to dinner, and you order a meal, and it's not a big meal, you didn't get 7 courses, and you're like, I had enough. You just slide it back. But he's like, no, I got to keep going. Now, Carmen Sicani, he was right there on him. He had 64. So Jaws had to go. Joey Chestnut, he calls himself Jaws Chestnut because he can eat as much as
You're his biggest fan now. You are. I've never seen anything like it.
Skip, I
you
watch.
Get a poster?
No. I mean, but I used to watch. And the women are impressive. Sonia Thomas, I don't know if anybody will get, I think she has, her record is 41. And Mika Sudo, yesterday she won. I don't think anybody will be. And these women are so small. And if you look at them, you think somebody that weighs 400 pounds could do it. But Badland Bookland, he never came close. Eater X, none of these guys come close. Matt Stoney.
You're a super fan. You've never heard anything like this. You know all the history.
I watch sports.
Why don't you try it?
No, I couldn't.
Don't they have a senior division?
No,
I don't know.
Seriously. This Batman costume won't expand anymore. I can eat one a little bit right there.
I know, but you can train your stomach to take the beating.
A cup and a half of oatmeal, a handful of grapes, and some grapefruit. That's all I got for you.
You got a year to get ready to take down Jaws.
But I can't beat him. I can't beat him.
We'll do a documentary. Like, we'll everything. It's like Supersize Me.
Dude ate 55 glazed donuts. I hadn't had 55 donuts in 20 years. Now, I used to like donuts because I would have 2 blueberry donuts before I played the game, Skip. That was always in my locker.
You would eat that before a game?
And cook both. As a matter of fact, Skip, the game I went for, I had two. Dunkin' Donuts used to do chocolate chip and blueberry, so I had two chocolate chip and one blueberry.
How much before the game would you eat them?
I have like 4 hours.
Oh, okay. Not like right.
No, right before the game. No. I would eat like 4 or 5 hours before the game because once I didn't need anything on my stomach. Woo, get going. I might try this, Skip. Me and Jaws, help me out.
Right.
Tell me where I can eat
He
a
needs a
lot
couple
of.
days off. He's now the